So, hello, dear people, and hope today and this time we will do this perfectly. No worry. So, stay tuned with us, and I think within 1 or 2 minutes we can start.
Hello.
Yeah, hello, sir. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear everybody. Thank you very much for setting this up.
Uh, okay, sir. Thank you. So, I think we can start if you're ready then.
Yeah, give it like 1 minute. Let people come in, then we can start.
Yeah, sure. So, people, just join within 1 minute. We're going to be live. Just stay tuned with Wise Crypto. Okay, sir. Can we start now?
Yes, sure.
Okay, so hello, ladies and all the gentlemen here today. We are going to discuss more about the Vertek Dex, and I hope through this AMA we will know more about these things. And I just want to welcome on behalf of the Wise Crypto community. So here is our honorable guest, sir. Can you please say a little bit about yourself?
Me or Wise Crypto?
Yourself. I just wanted to know about your background and also your I think how do you connect to this project?
Okay, so my name is Jules. I've been working on the Vertek Dex for a couple of months now. It's been in development for a long time, and it recently launched a couple of weeks ago, and or a few weeks ago. And before that, I have been in the DeFi space for slightly over a year as in the capacity of either advisory or director or founding role of a couple of projects. And before that, I was a typical DeFi investor, just like everybody else. And yeah, I did a lot of trading. Um, got introduced to crypto by a friend a couple of years ago. Before that, I was trading mostly forex and stocks, and then I got into crypto, and then here I am. So yeah, I've been in the DeFi space for quite a while, and I'm excited to bring the Vertek Dex. I think it's the well, let's say the epitome of all the hard work that we've been trying to put. Me and my team have been trying to put into our project. So yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir, for describing about yourself. So, Vertex Dex is a community-derived decentralized exchange that supports the multi-token and also wired pools and also automated the portfolio management. And I think through this AMA we'll know more about it. As you know, we have the three segments. Like first one is introductory, then Twitter, and then live. So it goes to the first question to you. Can you please say more about your project and also the motivation to start this project?
Right. Okay. So just going back briefly to what the little preamble that you gave there for the Dex, it does sound very complicated when it's written or read off the text like that. But essentially, what the Vertex Dex is basically just an all-in-one Dex. So the vision that we're trying to go for, and this will moves into the question part. The vision that we're trying to go for is to be an all-in-one Dex for everything that you can possibly do in DeFi on one place. So you think of all the things that you will be able to do, or traditionally will be able to do on centralized exchanges. Well, due to recent market activity, and I'm sure everybody has felt the waves that have come out of the centralized space over the last 1 year. So a lot of capital is moving out of centralized exchanges and into decentralized finance, which is why, and I think DEXs are a good place to house or be a kind of market square for all of the possible things that you can do in DeFi, right? You got your yield farming, your liquidity provision, you got your staking, your lock staking, unlock staking, time staking, all of these things. Now, if what we're trying to achieve with Vertek in long term is be a place where you can do all of that, and that is not just limited to tokens, right? It's also going to be NFTs. It's also going to be an NFT marketplace, which we will have integrated right on our Dex. That we will have an NFT mint coming out soon. So I guess that's a little bit of alpha. I think probably within a week or so, our NFT mint will go live, and then we'll do a marketing campaign for that as well. But we can talk a little bit more about that later. I think with regards to what we're trying to achieve with Vertek Dex, you can just think of it as a all-in-one Dex where you can do all sorts of trading on it. We're going to have perpetuals. We already have a cross-chain bridge. Our staker is coming out live soon. We do have lock staking of the VRTK token, and liquid staking, which means that you stake your LP tokens instead of single tokens. And then obviously you got your yield farming, which is VRTK emissions. And then on top of that, we also borrowed the concept from Curve Finance, which is the voting escrow system, where depending on how much liquidity you lock inside the DEX, you get a certain amount of power to vote to direct emissions. So if, let's say you lock up a lot of liquidity on the DEX, then you can kind of vote for the pool that you like, and then while providing liquidity for that pool, you get a boost up to 2.5 times. So yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you for that. And also, as you said, like their aim to become the predominant decentralized exchange on the Binance Smart Chain
Correct.
using the Balancer VRTK, and also they can support the large swaps for the stable coins and also commonly traded pairs with a very low supplies and also the fees. So people, the exchange will eventually evolve into a full suite trading platform without the need for centralized and also the custodial holdings.
Correct. So what that means
Yes.
basically is basically a reiteration of what I was just saying, which is traditionally on centralized exchanges, you have to give them your crypto or give them your fiat or USDC or stablecoins or whatever it is, and then that's the only way that you can use their platform. For a DEX, however, you don't have to do any of that. It's all smart contracts. It's all on the blockchain, all very transparent, and you basically hold your own crypto. And then, for example, if you use the perpetuals exchange, it's not sent to anyone. Nobody manages it for you. There's no intermediate guy or broker that takes a fee in between. Yeah. So I think the way that DeFi is going right now, that's the direction that everybody is trying to achieve, which is get out of centralized exchanges or trading platforms and get onto decentralized ones. So yeah, that is definitely something that Vertek wants to provide for the market.
Yeah, that's true. So thank you, sir. I can see there is some kind of features of your project has. Can you say mention some of your most attractive features that should bring people to your community? Like I can see that is the Vertek Volta and etc. Can you say something?
Say again, what's the last bit that you said?
Yeah, I just want to know that is Vertek Volta.
Okay, so yeah, so the Vertek Volta is basically the entry point. I implore everybody who is interested in the DEX to basically start there. It's a good start point to get into the ecosystem. So the Volta is just a fancy name for the voting escrow system that we have. So what that is locked liquid staking. I say again, it's just locked liquid staking. So basically what you do is you form VRTK, which is our DEX token, liquidity with BNB. So the pair is VRTK BNB. Everybody knows how to do this, right? You form the LPs, and after you form the LPs, you go over to the Volta. You lock it up for either up to 1 year. 365 days is the max. 7 days or 14 days is the least. So the longer you lock and the more that you lock, the more V Vertek you get. Repeat that, the longer you lock and the more that you lock, the more V Vertek you get. Now, V Vertek is basically your keys to the entire kingdom. Once you get V Vertek, not only do you unlock a high amount of emissions. I think right now we are still the highest yielding APR farm on BSC. We have about 1,900% APR on the main pool in the Volta. So if you lock V Vertek BNB in the Volta, you can capture a percentage of that. And also, in addition to those high emissions, you also get voting power, which I mentioned before. You can use to direct to other pools. See, so you have your V Vertek and you have your position, which is gaining high yield, and then you can vote for another pool. So, for example, if you are also providing liquidity for a stablecoin pool, you can vote for that pool, and that pool will get more emissions because you voted for it. So this is the way that traditionally on DEXs, it's the DEX or the centralized entity, the protocol governance, like Uniswap and all the Fox, is the protocol governance that decides how much emissions a certain pool gets. Well, with our system, you vote for it, and not just you, every single market entity votes for it, and the market will basically decide which are the most popular pools. So it's market driven right down to the core. We don't manipulate the thing at all. It's all completely decentralized. So that's the idea there with the voting escrow system, is that the market will decide which are the more popular pools. So for example, during a bear market or during a market downturn, perhaps the stablecoin pools will get a lot more votes because people want to hold stables, right? Now, during a bull run, or like the recent spike that we saw, a lot of people started voting for our blue chip crypto pools, like the pools with Bitcoin and BNB and ETH. and then more people, those pools got more TVL naturally as people flowed into them, and they also got more rewards because they were voted for more. So it's a good way to it's a good way for rewards to kind of automatically follow what the market sentiment is, right? So in cases where the market feels it's more stable coins or more risk off LP pools, then those will naturally get more rewards. And then in when the market feels a little bit more risk on, then those pools will naturally get more rewards, and people get you'll be able to gain better yield based on the overall market sentiment. Okay, so that's the second thing. Now the third thing is that you also get up to a 2.5x boost on farming any of the core pools. So I know this sounds a little bit complicated and this might be a little bit much, but you can just think of it this way. Just get into the Volta, get your VRTK. If the more VRTK you hold, the higher your boost. So the more VRTK you hold, the higher your boost. The maximum boost is 2.5x or 2.5 times. So for example, if you have a whole bunch of VRTK or you have a lot of VRTK, so it's very likely to get the max boost, right? So now you go over to one of your other favorite pools, let's say Bitcoin, Ethereum, and BNB. You go over to that pool, you provide liquidity for that pool, you will get a boost of the APR up to 2.5x. So let's say a non-VRTK holder, that means somebody who's not in the Volta at all, they're getting about 50% APR on that pool. You will get 150% instead of just 50%. So that's definitely a very big reason to. This is why I was saying it's a very very big reason to try and get to the Volta and make sure you get your V percentage up, so you can employ a optimal strategy for profit taking especially when you yield those up to 2.5x. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, go on.
Okay, yeah. So there's a lot more here, but I think I'll just mention the last bit very very quickly here, which is VRTK holders are able to capture bribing rewards. So bribing rewards is, I think a lot of people now understand how it is on Tina as well as the on Balancer itself, and Curve has one as well. But bribes basically are additional rewards that get given to people who vote for a specific pool. So if you're in the Volta, earlier I mentioned once you get into the Volta, you get some voting power, right? So let's say you see that a pool has a large bribe that you want to capture. If you vote for that pool, you can capture a percentage of that bribe. So that's another way that VRTK will, and it's only for Volta holders. That means if you're not in the Volta, you can't capture part of these bribing rewards. Now the last thing is that VRTK holders get dividends from 50% of all of the DEX fees. So as that's the typical revenue model, right, for DEXs, is which you benefit from the swap fees and everything. But here's the interesting part: with the Balancer V2 Tech, we don't take fees in single tokens. We take fees in LP tokens. So we actually can redistribute the liquidity tokens back to the VRTK holders on a weekly basis. So on a weekly basis, if you're in the Volta and you have a VRTK position, you get you get LP tokens, you can get your bribing rewards, you can get up to 2.5 yield boost, and you can capture a large percentage of VRTK emissions, up to 65%. So yeah, it's a lot, man.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you, sir. So I can summarize once again. That is, the Volta is a system where anyone can lock their liquidity up to 1 year, and also they can review, and also they can participate in their DAO governance, and they will get their emission of the allocation, and also up to 2.5x yield boost for the core pools, and voting power to boost the APRS of your favorite core pools actually. So
Yes.
people, you get so many things through their project. Just try to understand what they are making, and also need to join on their project. So, sir, I just want to know right now about your tokenomics, and also what can people do through your token in your ecosystem.
Right. Okay, so I'll briefly mention the tokenomics. We have a section in the white paper which is extremely detailed. But I think the most important thing to draw people to the tokenomics is the emissions curve. So the emissions curve, we followed the way that Balancer did it, more or less, right? Obviously, we had to adapt it for Binance Smart Chain and the TVL that we have, etc., etc. But essentially, every week, right? So every week, like I mentioned before, the emissions are based on a weekly schedule, right? Every week, the amount of VRTK that gets emitted to users decreases by 1% compounding. So at the first week it was 100%, and then 99%, then 90, and then 98.89% compounding, right? So 1% down every single week. So with this emissions curve, we will reach, let's say, around max supply, roughly slightly more than 3 years time. So for the first 3 years, there'll be some very nice emissions for VRTK. Also, with this emissions curve, a lot of the rewards are front loaded, and what that means is that there's a lot more rewards coming in the beginning of the DEX, so that we now, I think up to the first year, it's actually quite high, the emissions, but and then it tapers down as time goes by. So the reason for this is we want to get the VRTK distributed well. One, secondly, we want to sufficiently incentivize people to provide LP, and then three, we also want there to be enough VRTK in circulation to be able to use all the aspects of our ecosystem. Now, this leads into the second question, which is the second part of your question, which was what people can do with VRTK, right? So the first thing you can do with VRTK obviously is form LPs. So right now we have 3 VRTK pools. The first one is the main pool, VRTK BNB. Second one is VRTK BUSD. The third one is VRTK Bitcoin and ETH. Now these 3 pools actually give the highest yielding APR on our entire DEX right now, and it shows because they're getting a lot of bribes as well. So a lot of Vertek holders are actually voting for them, and then they're getting the additional rewards in VRTK, and then they're compounding their position in the liquidity pool, so they're getting more VRTK rewards. So if they continue this cycle on and on, you can very quickly see how good of a farming cycle it produces on a weekly basis. So yeah, definitely, man. That's the reason why these emissions are so high for these pools. Keep in mind, I want to say this again. It's not us that made it high. It's the VRTK holders who are voting for these pools, getting the bribes, making the liquidity thicker, and getting more into it. So this whole thing is decentralized. It's not us who control the emissions. It's them. It's everyone, the entire market who decides which are the pools that are the greatest. So yeah, man. We've had quite good price action in the past couple of days. So and we're excited to get more eyes and visibility on Vertek and welcome people into our ecosystem.
Okay, sir. So great to know about your tokenomics and also what can do people. So as you mentioned, like your token is Vertek. Can you say that is how many primary ways to earn yield on the Vertek metrics actually? So how to earn on Vertek?
Wow, that's a lot of ways. Okay, so one way is you can just form LPs and get swap fees. Second thing is you can form LPs and stake it into a gauge to earn VRTK emissions. So that's additional rewards. Third way is to get into the Volta, which will give you the first 2 plus DEX fee dividends and bribing rewards and voting DAO governance and additional VRTK emissions for being inside the Volta. Then also, very soon here, we're actually going to release our VRTK staker. This is very similar to the syrup pools that people know and love on a PancakeSwap. However, we have greatly improved the system to allow NFT staking. So we can talk about this a little bit later, but essentially the staker is where you stake VRTK. So this would be the fourth way you earn, right? You stake VRTK and you earn other token rewards. This is an important aspect because a lot of people at this point have been farming DeFi for a long time. They understand that reward tokens in and of themselves find it very difficult to have utility unless there is an external source of capital that is attached to that token. So the staker will be the first concept of that, which is you stake your VRTK and you can earn BNB, you can earn ETH, you can earn Bitcoin, you can earn other tokens. So where these tokens come from, obviously, is from the fees. The treasury builds up some, and then we feed it back to the rewards. That's one. Secondly, is whenever we have partners that are onboarded onto Vertek, part of the negotiations for them to give some tokens for the staker. I believe PancakeSwap does a variation of this as well. So it's a good model, and yeah, we're definitely that's the idea that we're going for the staker. Now, I previously mentioned that the staker is greatly improved because it has NFT staking. So what this means is that eventually, once our NFT mint is live and you get your VFox NFTs, that's what it's going to be called, by the way, you'll be able to stake your VFox NFTs on the staker to boost your yield again. So you can get your VFox NFTs, put it to the staker, stake your VRTK, and everyone else who doesn't have a VFox will get less rewards than you. You get, I think it's up to 3 times more rewards than everybody else. So it's pretty cool if you get your VFox NFT.
Yeah, that's true. And sir, as you just recently mentioned that you have the marketplace, can you say more about it? Like, is there any people can buy and sell, or also can create their own NFT through your marketplace?
Okay, so creating your own NFT, you can't do it through the marketplace. The marketplace itself is in partnership with Moonflow. They're quite big now, and they're the only, I believe, is the gas-free NFT marketplace. So you'll be able to list your NFTs on Vertek, and you'll be able to. It has compatibility with ERC 721A, as well as the new one, the 1155. So for those who are not that tech savvy, all that means is that you'll be able to track not dividends, what's it called, royalties. Yeah, you'll be able to track royalties. So with the original 721 NFT tokens, you can't really track your royalties, right? But with the 721A, you can actually force royalties to be tracked. So for example, if let's say you have a music NFT or something and you own it, and then it doesn't matter how many times it gets transferred, every time it gets transferred, a little bit of the fee or like the fee that is taken when it's transferred is sent back to you. So yeah.
Okay, sir, got it. Thank you for that. So, I think it's time to take some question from the Twitter. But before going to that, I just want to know what is your future plan about your project right now?
Right. Okay. So the immediate plan right now is to get the staker out and do the NFT mint. I think there is a large audience of NFT people who are interested in NFT, right? Investors who are interested in NFTs that may not be traditionally interested in normal DeFi, right? So normal DeFi would be a LP creation, staking, all of that. We have all of that on Vertek, and then now since we are going to have the NFTs and a instant utility for the NFTs, right? You're going to be able to stake it and earn yield using the VRTK token. I think it's a good way to capture an audience that we previously, or reach out to an audience or investor base that we previously could not, right? Because there's a lot of people who are only interested in NFTs, but since the NFTs are innately linked to the DeFi ecosystem of Vertek, it's a good way to try and break into that market. So yeah, that's the immediate plan for Vertek. Then after that, we're going to have the perpetuals platform, which will be launched, and then people will be able to trade futures, right, on Vertek up to 200x leverage. So I know that sounds very, very dangerous, but the thing is this, right? If it's always going to be available somewhere on DeFi, right? And if people want it, it's going to be there. So it seems that the market does want that kind of ability to trade with leverage perpetuals. And the interesting thing about the perpetuals platform that we'll be releasing, it is in partnership with Apollo X, which means we get access to all of their liquidity and for the perpetuals trading, which means you'll be able to do all of your leverage trading without a fear of let's say a pool having too low of a liquidity in order to maximize your gains.
Okay, sir, got it. So thank you for describing all the pros and cons through this introductory part. And also, people, if you want to know more about their project, just visit their website, their media, and also they have a clear white paper on that. You can make research about that, try to understand what they are making, and stay tuned with them and stay tuned with us.
I
So,
would
sir, it's
say,
time. Yeah, go on.
sorry, yeah, sorry to interrupt. So I would say also one of the things you might want to do is get into our Discord. We are the most active on Discord. We do have a Telegram as well, but we're much more active on Discord. You can see there's community events going on. There's a lot more people. There's roles to earn, and there's things to do, and a lot of people to talk to, and a lot of great people in our community who will kind of show you around. Now mods are very friendly as well, so our Discord is very strong, and we love to welcome anyone who wants to get in.
Okay, so it's time to take some Twitter question. Are you ready, sir?
Yes, the questions. Yep.
Okay, so the first question to you, like, which area are you focusing on at the moment? Like DeFi, stake, DApps, yield farming, or NFTs or gaming? And also, what is your goals in the near future, in this future?
Okay, so I think I've answered a combination of all of these of this question, but I will kind of summarize a little bit here and give a little bit extra thoughts on it. So I would say the main focus right now would be to get the all of the different parts of the DEX functioning together, right? So now we have the Volta, and we have the LPs, and that will be the yield farming and the lock and the staking. Sorry, the lock staking. So next thing that's coming out will be the staker, and then we'll move into the NFT market with the NFT marketplace plus the NFT mint. So that way we'll capture a wider audience. That will be the immediate plan. And then after that, moving forward, we do have the perpetuals coming in, which will attract the larger traders or traders who, let's say, don't don't who are averse to yield farming, and instead they would like to just um, trade a certain coin up or down based on the market sentiment. So there's that as well. And then moving forward, I think he mentioned gamify over there. So one of the things that I didn't mention earlier about the NFTs is that they will have a gamify integration in the future. So one of the things that we can that the NFTs will have is different stats, either attack or defense, or let's say strength, intelligence, and agility. So these stats will be dormant for now, meaning they won't have any instant utility yet. However, in the future, what we will have is a gamify layer which can be applied to the staking. So I did mention earlier you can stake your NFTs on a staker, right? And then you get your boosted yield. Now that will be gamified in the future, where your NFT will be able to you'll be able to fight other people's NFT for more rewards. Basically, that's the essence of what the gamify layer will be. Don't get too technical on how the mechanics of the game will work, or the gamify layer will work. But essentially, is if you have strength, then you beat the guy with agility. Agility, you beat the guy with intel. Intel, you beat the guy with strength. Right. So you in a specific pool, let's say strength is winning, then and you have a strength NFT, then you get more rewards. So that's that. And then also, because we've made our NFT contract with all of these aspects, in the future, what we can do is we can actually start to develop a blockchain game for the NFTs. And keep in mind, this mint will not happen again. It'll just, this is the only time that you'll be able to get VFox NFTs in the next 1 week or so here. So after that, if you already have it, it will be good, because there won't be another chance for you to mint them out again. Especially when the game comes out, people are going to want to get those VFox and their hands on those VFox NFTs, and the only way you'll be able to get it is to buy it off someone else on the NFT marketplace. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, that's true. And also, I think they have a lot of plan in the future. They are doing one by one, and I think in future they can overcome all of the barriers, and also they will be successful. And best wishes to your project, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so going back to the next question, like most of the investors are focusing on the token prices with no real understanding of the use case and also the long-term value of the project. In this case, what are the benefits for the investor in holding the token? And is there any kind of plan to increase demand for the long term?
Yes, of course. I mean, that I think that's a lot of that has been what been talking about, right? So I did mention earlier, it is true for normal basic reward tokens. It's very difficult to find innate utility for them, or to find a use case for a reward token in and of itself. However, if you build layers on top of it that give the reward token utility, then it becomes more than just a reward token, right? So obviously VRTK, because it's a DEX, the nature of the reward program, it has to be a reward token first. Now, instead of just being a reward token, we also have it as part of large liquidity pools. So when I say large liquidity pools, means it's paired with things that people want, right? People want stable coins, people want blue chip cryptos. So right now there is pairings with as in pools where stable coins and blue chip crypto are being paired with VRTK on our DEX, and those pools are getting the highest yield. So that's one utility there, right? Which is the yield farming. Second utility, obviously, is getting into the Volta and then getting access to all of the other whole host of benefits that you can get by being a Vertek holder, right? Which is your DAO governance, your voting for emissions, your dividends from DEX fees, and your and your capturing of large emissions and your bribing rewards. So that's the second layer there. Then, of course, once the staker drops, which will be in a couple of days here very soon, you'll be able to stake your VRTK and then earn other token rewards. So you can think of VRTK as a vehicle through which you gain access to a lot of different avenues of gaining different crypto rewards on the Vertek Dex. Then after the staker, like I did mention, when the NFT comes out and everything, we are trying to have the mint perhaps being instead of just being BNB, it will be BNB combined with VRTK. So that's another way for us to build liquidity for the token and reduce the volatility of the token, and also give another use case for VRTK.
Yeah, that's true. So I think they're doing a lot of activities to make more value on their token and also to attract the people for the long run, actually.
Yes, actually, that's the whole point, right? That's the whole point
Yeah.
of the Volta. You get your VRTK and you get inside, and it's locked liquid staking. So there is some risk there, right, with locking, but the benefits that you get are just so numerous that it will very quickly make up for the risk of locking your tokens.
Okay, so going back to the next question, like in such a competitive environment, how do you plan to scale and develop the community? Do you have exchange integration or some kind of special functions that are trending right now?
Yes, correct. So we are having the NFT marketplace and integration as well as the perpetuals platform integration. We already have the cross-chain bridge up. Cross-chain bridges are very popular now, especially in the last 1 year. A lot of them got hacked, and it's because of the way that liquidity is handled. But for the partner that we got, which is Stargate for the cross-chain bridge, they handle the liquidity a little bit different. So let's say the vulnerabilities that were present in the earlier bridges are not present on for ours. And then secondly, with the NFT marketplace, traditional NFT marketplace, everybody knows OpenSea, right? Yeah, they have the first mover advantage. Everybody's on there and they're on ETH. That's why everybody goes there. But for the newer ones, the especially like for Moonflow, right? To give a specific example, the entity that we partner with for the NFT marketplace, what they're trying to develop in the medium to long term future is borrowing and lending using NFTs. So traditionally, you can only in DeFi you can only use high demand tokens in order to collateralize to borrow stable coins, right? So for example, you got like $10,000 worth of Bitcoin or Ethereum, and you don't want to sell it, but you want to be able to spend some of the cash. So you can go to a borrow lending platform. You can put your Bitcoin up as collateral, and then you can borrow, let's say, $6,000 of worth of stable coins. Then you can use the stable coins to do other things, right? You can do your LP farming, your yield farming, do the borrow lending loop, whatever strategies that you may deem appropriate to deploy in DeFi in order to optimize your yield. But imagine being able to do that with NFTs, right? An asset that is traditionally illiquid is traditionally NFTs. Once you buy them, either the price goes up and then it's like art, right? If the price goes up and it's in high demand, then you can flip it for a profit, or you can just hold on to it. In our case, not only can you flip it for a profit, right? That's the number one way that people try and make money from NFTs. But you can also use it to boost your yield in the VRTK staker, right? And then you can also use it for in the gamify layer. So there's like utility all around attached to the NFT. And then eventually, once Moonflow gets the collateralizing NFTs integration done, then you'll be able to lend out your NFTs or collateralize it and then borrow stable coins. So that means your asset is not dead, right? It may be sitting in a wallet, but you can still borrow against its value and then use the stable coins as liquidity to do all of your yield farming. So I think that's a big leap for NFTs. That's definitely something that, if implemented correctly, can be very, very beneficial for the space. And yeah.
Yeah, definitely. As you know, the NFTs are currently very trending issue now. So they're working on that, people, no worry. And also I can say some of their partners like Alto and also Ames.DeFi. And also here is the collective finance and also some kind of decentralized DeFi merge and so on. So people, no worry. I think those partners helping them to go to the long run actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I'd like to give a shout out to Collective Finance. Actually, I see them as a listener in this AMA. They will be hosting their liquidity with us, and they'll be bringing commodities to the blockchain. So that is also something that is a good value proposition for Vertek in and of itself, because right now it's very difficult for the average DeFi investor to get exposure to, for example, something like gold or silver or diamonds or oil or all these commodities, right? So imagine being able to I mean, in traditionally how you would want to get exposure to these is you have to go through a traditional TradFi avenue, and then there's a broker who will take some fees, and then the market closes only works from 9 to 5, then it closes over the weekend, so you can't trade it. So being able to get those commodities on the blockchain, and then you can self-custodial, which means you don't even need a broker, so nobody takes fees from you. And because it's crypto, you can trade it 24/7, 365. And then on top of that, you can use it to get yield. So imagine being able to get gold anytime you want, and then being able to get yield on the gold. So that's definitely a good value proposition for the space in general. And they're bringing it to Vertek, and Vertek will be the first and only place that you'll be able to leverage that in your yield farming strategies.
Yeah, that's true. So thank you, sir. And going to the next question, like here is how long did it take to develop this project, and also what plans do you have for the future? I think we already answered the second part. You can answer the first portion, that is how long did it take to develop this project?
Okay, it took us better half of a year to develop it. Um, it's been a long process, and I think the reason for that is it's not very easy to just fork Balancer. I mean, there's a reason why you have hundreds of different Uniswap forks. Every day there's another DEX coming out, right? A Uniswap fork coming out. But the Balancer type DEXs, you have basically you can just count on your hands how many there are, right? There's like maybe 10, and then yeah, and so it's very difficult to firstly understand the tech behind Balancer, and then secondly to get all of the moving parts working together. So there's like 170 different smart contracts all interacting with each other at the same time, and then on top of that there's also the voting system, and then we have the staker, the perpetuals, the NFT, everything that I mentioned before. To get everything into place working in unison, it's not an easy task, and it was a feat or a challenge that we embraced, and it's finally coming to fruition. So we're very glad that we're here.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you for that. Actually, so people, I think it takes sometimes take to 1 or 2 years to make a project cause they need to make a research that what we're going to make and how it works. So I think through this process they are going to make this project. But no worry, right now Vertek has a long plan for the future. They were working on it. I think in future they will be successful definitely.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so this is the last question from the Twitter. I understand that the Vertek Dex will take part on the developing NFT games, but really, what features will these games have? And also, will they be one of the specific theme, or like also users can contribute ideas, or even if it is possible to develop games with the technology of their platform?
Yeah, so there's a lot to unpack there, but I think the main question there is like, how are we going to do this game, right? That's the that's the main gist of the question. So I would say this: the gamify layer will start with an direct interaction with DeFi. So the interaction with DeFi would be the yield farming, right? So you have your VRTK staking, and then you have your NFT to boost that, and then once the NFTs get their stats like strength, agi, and intel, then that will be available too. And there'll be a very like a fun little mini game you can do, where if you have a bunch of good strength NFTs, you can get into the strength pools. You got a bunch of intel ones, you can get to the in pools, etc., etc. So then when you build on top of that and move forward into an actual blockchain game, there are a lot of things to consider, right? So one of the things is like you have to reward users for playing your game. So that's a good thing, because then essentially that's another straight up use case for Vertek as well, right? And what we can do, since we are a DEX and we're all about the liquidity, we can have reward tokens and play tokens in LPs instead of single tokens, right? So everything is just about liquidity, and make sure liquidity is flowing throughout the DEX in a very optimal manner. So I think that's the direction that we want to go for the blockchain game. It won't be a very, very complicated game. Like, it's not going to be some massive RPG with clans and all of that stuff. I think it'll be a lot more basic, but it'll be fun, and it'll be something that people can grasp instantly, so that the barrier for entry is very low. Meaning, if somebody doesn't really play games, they can just play anyway, because it's so easy. We don't want it to be like a gamer only kind of game. We want it to be easily accessible to the vast majority of investors, and there's a strong reason for that, and that will be because a lot of the people who will initially play the game will be the investors who come over, right, from who are already part of the Vertek ecosystem, and they see that, okay, so this new game came out and they already have the NFT, so they might as well try and start playing the game as well. So yeah, I think that's the direction that we want to try and go for. I think there was part of the question inside there was whether or not there will be some community driven feedback as well as development. Yeah, of course, it is DeFi. So and in the end, the VRTK token does give DAO governance. So most definitely, there will be a lot of aspects of the game that can be community driven.
Okay, got it. So people, to know more about their update and also their information, as I said, you need to join on their Discord, which is very much active right now. And also the Vertek adapts so kind of powerful features. I can mention slash gauge costs and also the supercharged capital efficiency and unlock arbitrage with a zero token storing capital and open door to the custom AMMS, everyone. So people, you can take part on their project and you can be a part of them and be benefited from them.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. Okay, so I guess as closing notes, I want to drop some alpha here. We are going to be running a liquidity driver event very, 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 very soon. So either tomorrow or the next day, we're going to start the event. So this event, if you get in with $100 more of VRTK, $100 more or more of Vertek BNB, and you lock it out in the Volta, you will be eligible to earn up to $1,000 in prizes. So there'll be 10 winners for this, and each entry is worth 100. So if you get 100, then you have one entry. If you have 10 entry, if you lock up 1,000, then you automatically have 10 entries, and we will match your stake basically at the end of the event once the winners have been selected. So for example, if you bought $800 worth of Vertek BNB and you locked it up in the Volta for any time frame, 7, 14, 15, whatever. If you do that, then you will get 8 entries, and if you're selected to win, we will match your entry. So for if you bought 8, we will match 800. So yeah, that will be going on across the next 10 days, and there'll be a pretty cool announcement about it in our Discord, and there'll be a tweet, and we're gonna do a little bit of marketing promotionals for that as well. So yeah, you
Okay,
heard it here first.
go on.
Yeah, now I'm done.
Yeah, thank you for this announcement. And also, people, it's time to take some question from your side. So make requests so that I can choose someone to ask question. First of all, is Aim High. Hello, Aim High.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, you're good. Can you ask your question, please?
Yes. Looking at the fact that you are all in one DS on BS, do you have plan to extend to other chains, or do you want to remain only in BSC?
We already have plans to extend our reach to some of the other layer 2 blockchains. Right now, we do want to maximize our exposure on BSC first, meaning we are going to try and get as many eyes and visibility, and set ourselves up as the predominant DEX on BSC first, and then we will go cross chain, and we'll get more liquidity pools across the market. I think the chains that
Okay.
Yeah, I think the chains that we want to approach first will probably be Polygon. Matic is a really good one. Arbitrum is getting quite popular recently now as well. But yeah, I think Matic, Arbitrum, Phantom's okay. They already have they don't they already have the other balancer decks over there is Beats. So maybe it might not be a good idea to be in direct competition with them. But I think BSC, Matic, and Arbitrum are the main three that we want to try and extend to first, and then from there we will you know extend even further.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Another question. I don't know. Can I still ask another one?
What did you say? Sorry.
Yes, you can ask another question. No problem.
Okay. I just want to know what is your take on decentralized identity, just like owning .bnb. If I connect to your DApp, can my .bnb show? Can my .bnb identity show on your DApp when I connect?
If you're talking about the need for KYC in order to interact with our dApp, then no, you don't need that. It's completely 100% decentralized. There's no concept of taking identity or recording identity from any users who connect to the dApp.
Okay, no problem. What I'm actually asking is a decentralized identity, just like .it. When I connect to your DApp, can if I own a .bnb, I own a ID right now. If I connect to your DApp, will my space ID be able to show? That is my question.
You'll be able to see your own, but other people won't be able to see yours.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Hybrid, for your question, and also studying with them to know more about all their information. Thank you. So the next one is Francis. Hello, Francis.
Thanks for the opportunity. Can you hear me?
Yes. Ask your question, please.
Okay, my questions. How do you plan to retain long-term investors and what are the benefits of retaining them? Are you planning to move to another blockchain in the future or launch your mainnet? That's my questions.
Okay, so I did answer the second part of the question we just answered, which is we are planning to extend to Matic and Arbitrum first, and then probably into the others as well. I think Chronos Chain is actually a really good one to go to, since there isn't really a balancer dex there. There's no exposure to a very solid all-in-one kind of dex over there, so we might do that as well. And then to answer the first part of your question about long-term investors, that's the whole idea of the Volta. All of the benefit of the entire ecosystem is first unlocked by getting into the Volta. So you really want to get into there if you just by looking through the white paper for 10 minutes, you will very quickly realize that being a long-term investor in Vertek is much better than trying to be a swing trader or fast farm kind of person.
Okay, thank you, Francis, for your question. I think you've got it.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so the next one is Rick. Hello, Rick.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, yes.
Okay. Thanks for bringing me up. Okay. So my question is, I just wanted to know, can you tell me the sustainability plan for this project? Like, how do you intend to actually sustain this project to actually be for the long term?
Okay, so sustainability has a lot of elements to it. I think the first aspect is that you want to have you want to grow and thicken your liquidity, right? And so you have to sufficiently incentivize people or users to create LPs. One, secondly, to lock it, and to thirdly, not to dump all their tokens at once, obviously. So the nice thing about us is that we didn't have a pre-mine. So like most dexes you see out there, they have a pre-sale or a period where a whole bunch of people can get the token for much less. So we didn't have that at all. We had a truly decentralized launch, and it's all been growing slowly since the beginning. And I think our TVL as well as our liquidity for the main pair at least has like tripled over the last, or not triple, maybe double over the last couple of weeks. So we're definitely seeing some growth over there. I think for sustainability in the future, what you really want to do is keep up the momentum. So like for us, we've released a new big feature, like not small updates on a big feature every single epoch. So if we keep that up for our next like 6 or 7 epochs, I think we'll reach a very good point where we'll have enough.
Okay. Thanks for the wonderful answers.
Okay, thank you,
Thanks a
Rick,
lot, man.
for your question. So let's take Anuj. Hello, Anuj.
Hello, hello, good day.
Yeah, hi there.
Yeah,
Yeah, good day. Your
okay.
question, please.
Thank you very much. What I want to know, what strategy will you implement to bring non-crypto users into your ecosystem, and also like how do you keep a balance between developing the your technology and improving the value of your token?
Okay, good question. So I'm gonna answer the first part first because that's actually something that I didn't mention earlier, but it's pretty cool. So we are in talks with various on-ramp fiat on-ramp partners. So when I say to get that, allow people to they don't need to go through a centralized exchange, get here there, and then get a MetaMask, blah blah blah. They'd be able to do it straight up with the Visa card, and then and the built-in whatever wallet that is depending on the partner that we choose. So that's something that we are trying to get integrated as soon as possible. It does take some time because they have more system compatible in the best way possible. So there's that, and then the second part of the question, which is to do with the balancing between developing and technology. So the thing about the Balancer tech is that it's extremely the Balancer tech instead of the classic Uniswap tech. So if on the Uniswap, they have to keep going to V2, V3, V4, and upgrade their contracts and stuff. But the technology itself is limited in what it can do, which is why you will see a lot of Uniswap dexes, Uniswap forks. They have to partner with a multitude of different projects in order to get like one or two different features up. Like for example, if they wanted to have different fees on different pools, they have to get somebody to do that for them. If they wanted to get be able to handle fees differently, they have to get somebody else to handle that. So the thing with Balancer is that you can already do that with the existing technology. So that's part the great thing about the Balancer V2 tech is that it's very, very scalable. And the whole idea actually is that, and I want to kind of reach out to project developers who are listening in on this call. It's as much for developers as it is for investors, right? It's not just investors who can come in, make your LPs and do the yield farming and all of the optimization, but you can, for developers, the options that you have with Balancer V2 Tech is so much more beyond just a normal LP. You can have different weighted pools. You can have multiple tokens in the same pool. You can have multiple rewards. You can bribe your own pools. You can set up a contract or a script to buy VRTK, farm your own pool, compound those rewards, bribe your own pool, capture your own bribes, and then and increase the yield for your own LP. So it's amazing. There's a lot of things that you can do with the Balancer V2 Tech, and I think that is also the reason for its immense popularity on the Phantom chain in particular. You saw these Solidly and all of those forks. Those are all yield optimizers that thrive on the Balancer V2 Tech. So yeah, that's something that we definitely offer for developers out there, who want to do interesting things with their LP.
Wow, so amazing! Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Anuj, for your question. And to
All right.
help you make test before, actually, we tested a lot of with you. So thank you for that, actually. So next one is Young Boy, the last one. Hello, Young Boy.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Young Boy, ask your question, please.
Okay. My question is your platform suitable for crypto beginners? Or does it only limited for professional user? This is my question. Thank you.
Okay, so one of the visions that we do have for Vertek, right, is apart from being the all-in-one DEX, we also want it to be, we want there to be something for everyone. So for the basic user, yes, we want, it's very easy to learn how to invest in a pool. It's very clear cut. Literally, you just click one button and then you approve a transaction and you're in, right? Then you just go over to the staking gauge, you click another button, you're in, and you start earning rewards. But if you're a very advanced investor, then you can try and optimize your yield by trying to min-max your VRTK position in ratio to your core, your liquidity position, and then you can have your staker, and then you can have different percentages Just a whole bunch of things you can do. So if you're a very advanced trader, the Vertek allows you to do most of the things that you want to do right on Vertek itself, and then eventually when our perpetuals platform comes out, you'll have access to that as well. But if you're a very basic user or very basic DeFi degen, right, as they say, then there's that as well, right? You just look at the APR, you get into that pool, then you get and then you get the emissions. So yeah, I would say it's good for everyone. There's something for everyone to do.
Okay, thank you, young boy, for your question. I think whatever you have, you can take part on their project, no problem. But to know about their information and also their project, you just need to sit in with them.
Thank you. Great answer. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I think we got our 5 participants to this AMA right now, and we need to wrap up this AMA session. Before wrapping up, do you want to say something else?
Yeah, I guess thank you for everybody for coming here and listening to us. This was a very great pleasure, and thank you very much. Sorry for the technical issues that we had before, but yeah, if you get into our ecosystem, always remember the Volta is the first point of entry that you want to try and go for. Our Discord is very, very lively and very active, so get in there as well. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the yield farm.
Okay, sir. Thank you for that, and also best wishes to your project. And thank you everyone for having here to this AMA session. And we're very sorry for the previous that we had some kind of technical issue, but no worry. Right now we're okay. So thank you, sir.
Thank you.